One. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm really excited because today I'm speaking with Rita Mind, and we are going to be talking about all the things that I know you all struggle with: procrastination, imposter syndrome, self-doubts, fears, anything really that's holding us back from growing our business. And what I love about talking to people like Rita is, yes, I do some tech stuff and marketing and mindset stuff, but then there are all these other modalities and tools that you can bring in to complement the work that we might do when we're doing marketing and business growth that are going to really enhance your experience and make it easier to do your marketing. So, hi, Rita.
Hi.
Hey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course.
Cool.
I'm the corporate professional who decided one day to launch her side business as an introvert side business owner.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit complicated at the beginning. The funny story is that I had some friends and not too much encouraging me at the time, telling me, oh, you are too shy to succeed in business. And an ex-boyfriend who told me, you should go in the crowd, in the middle of the street, jump on a stone and shout out that you have something to sell. I was supposed to be an influencer at that time. And then I said, this is not normal. I have to prove them, or rather prove myself that I'm able to be an introvert entrepreneur. So later, when I decided to train myself in hypnosis, in meditation, I was keeping in mind the idea that I should help rather entrepreneurs and introvert people. But not only.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's not just introverts though. I mean, everybody has that challenge, don't they, of how do we find a way to be in business in a way that suits my soul and my preferences? How can I do my marketing in a way that I just can be myself? So I think that's, yeah, everybody's challenge really, isn't it?
I think it's, as you said, we need to find alternatives to show up online, not as in corporate world, not as an employee of a big company, but a business owner, as a solo business owner. I think the most difficult was to learn to share my own stories and to find connection between my stories and what I'm doing, my workshops, my sessions, my one-on-ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's funny because businesses are creating a brand so that they can seem more like a person. That's what the brand is for a corporation. It's trying to make a persona that humans can relate to. And as an entrepreneur, we really have an added bonus that we already are a personality. We already are a person. And we're going in this funny loop of trying to have a brand and be more corporate, when the corporations are trying to be more like people. So it's a funny little impossible loop that we're trying to fill.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to talk to you because a lot of the time my clients are experiencing all of the challenges that you mentioned in our note to each other. And one of them is procrastination. I actually did a lesson the other day in my group program, but I called it stalling. But I guess it's the same thing. I mean, what do you recommend for people if they think that they're procrastinating?
It's all a matter of behavior. Actually, when you are procrastinating, it's your subconscious mind pushing you. Actually, your subconscious mind is in charge of your survival. So if you are walking in the jungle and the tiger attacks you, the survival instinct is to run away or to jump in a tree or to pretend you are dead or something like this. And every time you want to make a huge change in your life, your subconscious mind thinks it's a danger for your life. It will get you overwhelmed, exhausted. You won't be healthy anymore, especially if you are a side business owner and you spend your weekends in your business. So it pushes you to procrastinate and you keep on thinking, oh, I'm here during the weekend working on my computer. And while, I don't know, my friends are going on a picnic or going out, or my family is doing this and that, I'm here stuck in the house working. So it pushes you, it sabotages you. It pushes you not to do, need to do, to protect you. This way you may turn back in the corporate or in the comfort zone, in your comfort zone, and do what you are used to do. So you need to work a little bit more with the subconscious mind to understand how it works and install a new behavior, because it will always sabotage you.
Nice. And so with your practices, I mean, I've read a few books lately about, well, atomic habits. I thought that was pretty interesting. And I wonder, you mentioned in something I read that you've done journaling and hypnosis. Is that right? Is that some of the tools that you would use for this subconscious awareness and practice?
Yes, hypnosis allows us to relax and to dig deeper in our thoughts, in our emotions, to find why the subconscious mind is pushing us to do this and that and holds us back from succeeding in business. And journaling is an alternative. Some people don't like hypnosis. I myself had doubts about it. I thought I won't remember, I will be sleeping, while actually it's just about being relaxed. You are closing your eyes because you need to take your time to think about the issue you are working on, and not to listen, to the cat jumping on the table, to the dog, the neighbor door barking, and so on. So it's all about relaxing, and journaling is a good alternative.
Yeah, cool. So they don't have to be one or the other. You can do either. You could do both. Nice. And then you mentioned imposter syndrome. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I feel like sometimes I suggest to people they shouldn't worry too much about what everybody else thinks, because at the beginning we're very lucky and not many people are actually seeing us. But maybe imposter syndrome is something a bit different. How would you explain imposter syndrome?
It's a limiting belief, also created by our subconscious mind to sabotage a change. And then we feel not enough. If people are complimenting us, we tend to see, oh, it's because I had good luck, it's because that person helped me, and not thanks to me. It's not thanks to my skills. And yeah, you never feel enough.
That reminds
And
me
still
that
you need to.
Oh, sorry, you tell me. Still you need to.
I was just saying that you still need to communicate, to negotiate with your subconscious mind, to make it think that you are the suitable person for this, for what you are doing. Your
Yeah, I think
business.
sometimes we have to do it first, don't we? I wonder how can we Good, because I didn't think I would write a book, and I started writing a book, and all along I just keep feeling like I'm not really someone who writes a book. So it's been a bit surprising to me how easy the actual writing the book part is. It's like the imposter syndrome was bigger. It made it seem like a big deal and like a big problem, but the actual doing is not hard at all.
No, usually I recommend to my clients, after a hypnosis session, I'm sending a meditation where we install a new belief system. And it's all about, I'm telling even people to repeat themselves, I'm good enough, I have enough skills, and so on. And when it's on issues like procrastination, you can also repeat yourself that, well, everybody's out, my kids are playing, but I chose to stay here and work, and I like it.
Mm. Mm.
You can tell yourself this. And yeah, I remember I did a workshop on weight issues, and I was telling the same thing. Tell yourself when you see a cake or chocolate, tell yourself that I can eat it now, I'm free to eat it now, I have the choice, but I'm leaving it for tomorrow, for another day. There are plenty of cakes. I can have one in a month, in 6 months, in 1 year. It doesn't have to be now. It's my choice. I like it. I like to see it and not eat it.
Nice. Yeah. I notice in both of these ones, the procrastination and imposter syndrome, the first thing you said was it's like the subconscious mind reaction to change. So I suppose starting a business, that is a big change. It's a different thing to what a person was doing before. And so, but it's these habits, they don't always appear at the beginning of the business. Like I've been in business for 7 years, and well, I guess the book was a new thing. But even this morning, I was kind of procrastinating. Like there were these jobs I had to do for a client, and I was just up at the kettle, and over here, I was like wiggling in my seat. But once I start doing it, it's fine. So even when someone's been in business for a while, these are still traps that we can fall into.
I think the most important thing is to enjoy what you are doing.
Mm.
And tell to yourself all the time that I enjoy doing this. If you find a funny side of writing a book, you say, oh, I'm enjoying it.
Mm.
Maybe not put too much pressure on yourself. Oh, I have to finish by that time. Just enjoy the process.
Beautiful.
I was thinking also about writing a book, but I think it's too early. It's a very interesting project. It's about technical skills you are working with, or about the subconscious mind? Your book.
I have so many blogs I've written, and my mentor is teaching a method where you turn blogs into a book. And part of the process is to list all your blogs and say what category you think they belong to, and then basically just look at the categories and see which category has the most blogs, and then just write a book. And I have heaps of blogs, so many blogs, and it became apparent that there's 3 topics: strategy, sustainable business, and content creation, that I have a lot of posts in. And at first I thought, they don't really go together. But then I just looked at all the blogs that were in those categories, and I felt there was a way that I could sequence them so that they did seem to go together. And it's been really easy process. And I think a person could do it any time. Yeah, it's great to start blogging now, and then in 6 months you might, if you did 1 blog a week, you could write a short book easily.
It's like the solo show I'm doing right now. I'm doing now I'm about to launch the French version. The English version is finished.
Cool.
I never imagined doing this, and it's also about my blogs.
Yeah.
And the family patterns.
Yeah.
Everything is signed. It's starting from a dream I used to have several times in childhood and later in adulthood. And in my dream, I find some fears that are very present in the waking life. And some fears that also belong to some family members. They are not only personal. And I did several scenes in the show where I'm explaining every block as you did. And when I'm thinking about writing a book, actually I think about expanding that show.
Yeah.
Take the written version and start expanding every scene into a chapter or something like this.
For sure.
I was just thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because, I mean, you've mentioned fears as well. And I don't really think of myself as a fearful person. And I think, I mean, I know a lot of people that are my clients or that I've spoken to, they do say the word fears. But for me, the word fear doesn't really capture it. Sometimes it's more just I get resistance. I just get this resistance, like, I just don't want to do it, or I don't think it's going to work. So I'm not going to even try. I think it's interesting the different flavors of fear.
Imposter syndrome mixed with procrastination.
Yeah. I mean, fear how is that different then to resistance, do you reckon?
For example, I don't know, I never imagined I will do a show. When I was a very small child, I think 3 years old, we were in the kindergarten having a Christmas party and acting, and I had to learn a poem by heart. I was a snowflake, and I had to tell it on the
Yeah.
scene. There was no microphone, and I was so afraid I was about to forget it that I didn't speak too loud. And I remember everybody, all the parents were telling, "We can't hear anything, we can't hear anything." And then my mother was quite disappointed about this, and she turned back home and said, "Oh, it was nice, but we couldn't hear her." We couldn't hear a word. And I stayed afraid of going on scene and speaking in public
Yeah.
all my life.
Mm.
And now, as being in business, I found a club in the US. We are meeting on Zoom and in a Facebook group. And there is an American actor who teaches storytelling. So I joined it for the storytelling, for my business, not for acting.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I'm participating in challenges, and she's doing some open mics where we can act a story for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several people, everybody's telling the story within 5 minutes. And this is how my idea came. Oh, but I can do a 1 hour show. And I prepare my notes and everything. And in the end, I was not reading my notes anymore. I was not looking in my notes. I was just speaking to the camera. And now I'm wondering, how could I speak during an hour? The power of my stories. I live them. I knew the structure. It was just so fluid. I was going to one scene to the next one. And I even thought about preparing some props or some drawings about each scene and to put them in a box and then to pick them in the right order.
Yeah.
Just to see the prop and remember the scene.
Yeah.
I was so afraid to forget.
Yeah.
And I didn't did anymore these props because I didn't have time. And now I think they are not useful because I know my scenes.
Yeah. 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 So you feel like the process of having the storytelling and having a focus on something took away the fear of the public speaking in a way because you were so focused on what you were doing.
Yes, I think it's very important to tell our stories, not to try to, I don't know, not to make it too corporate style.
Fully. Yeah.
Even if in your business, we are trying to give an example of a client in the sales page. And actually, it's unuseful. We already have stories about that. You know, even about speaking about introversion. Why not share the story with that ex-boyfriend who told me, don't try to do business, you are too shy. And there were lots of persons who, every time I was hearing you are too shy to do this and that, I was, oh my God, what am I doing? And it happened also in the job. So when I'm talking about introversion, I'm starting with this story.
Yeah.
It looks too personal. I look vulnerable, but in the same time, I overcome this story.
Yeah.
This is something I feel healed from it. I don't even care about proving somebody else that I'm able to. I just need to prove to myself.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think that's the thing that helped me early in my business was I was in a coaching program and I would be coached in group calls and I would be vulnerable and people would see that and that made us in a relationship then because it sort of bonded us somehow that they could see me being very vulnerable, facing my challenges, hearing about my struggles. And I think that's the thing in business that we have to do is actually be brave to be ourselves. It's not easy. And I wonder like how to start a positive feedback loop for that because I still feel self-conscious about sharing certain kinds of content, but then when I share it, I get a really good response. And even still, I feel a bit reserved about it. And so I do lots of other things and then I share a bit of that kind of content again and it still gets a positive response, but it's still sort of not feeling safe enough for me at that, to go all out. And then at some point it tripped over and I just stopped feeling frightened. And I guess that the doing, I just feel like the doing is so important, but I guess the subconscious reprogramming can support that as well. Yeah.
I was told it's very important to be healed from a story before sharing it or have started the healing process. At least having started it and being, on your way of healing. And then you can share a story with a teaching, with a message, show the people that you overcome it.
Yeah.
And then, even if you need to act it, you can look like sad, you can look like crying, but you won't be crying because you are not healed.
Yeah, so
it's all
maybe
about
that's the
sharing.
thing. It's all about what, sorry?
Yes, I was saying it's all about sharing a teaching, something valuable for the ones who listen to you, who read you.
Beautiful. And so maybe that's the thing, is that there's still some layers of healing that need to occur before people are ready to share certain kinds of stories. Yeah.
There are some that are very difficult to share.
True. Beautiful. Well, it's lovely chatting with you. I think that's a long chat. Time just whisks by so quickly. And I wonder,
Yeah.
would you like to share anything that you're promoting at the moment, or how can people stay in touch with you?
There is my website, which is ritamind.podia.com, where I have several workshops, my one-on-one sessions. There is also the show, the solo show in the English version for now. And you can, of course, people can reach me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, on YouTube.
Cool.
My main thing is Facebook.
Yeah.
Thanks to Facebook groups.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun hanging out, isn't it? Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for your time. If you are feeling really stuck with anything we've talked about today and you feel a connection to Rita, I really recommend checking her out. I think there's only so much you can do, like thinking about marketing, talking about marketing, wondering about what's the right thing to do. And if you really are stuck and you don't feel that you can take action, then maybe these other tools could be helpful for you. So check out Rita, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Thanks so much.
Bye bye.
See ya. Bye.